Wolfgang dug the stack of hundreds from his pocket and ran his thumb over the end, then tossed it to the salesman. "I'm not sure if that's a moderate or a significant amount. What do you think?" The salesman's eyes bulged as he caught the wad. He blinked, ran his own thumb over the end of the wad, then looked up with a smile bright enough to overload a solar panel. "I don't believe I caught your name." Wolfgang offered his hand. "Wolfgang Pierce. Tell me about the yellow one." 10 minutes later, Wolfgang sat in the plush leather seat of the coupe and hit the start button as Stanley, his name was actually Stanley, slid in beside him, adjusting his glasses and talking faster than an auctioneer on crack. "Brand new from Mercedes, this is the 2012 SLK 55 AMG, featuring a special order paint finish that the Germans call Street Fighter Yellow. I have to tell you, Mr. Pierce, it's an exquisite machine, truly a work of art. Crafted leather interior, a deluxe entertainment system, and suspension designed to make every trip a path carved through the clouds." Wolfgang was barely listening as the car rumbled to life and the dashboard lit up with enough lights to shame a Christmas tree. He grinned, feeling the rumble of the coupe shooting up his spine. Everything around him felt premium. His mind flashed back to the beat-up pickup trucks and rusted-out sedans of his childhood, many of which were lucky to run at all. Look at me now. Stanley held out a pair of gloves, shooting Wolfgang that solar flare smile again. "You'll want these." "For what?" Stanley blushed, then lowered his voice again. "Driving gloves, Mr. Pierce. All true enthusiasts wear them." Wolfgang waved his hand as he steered the car through the open showroom door and into the parking lot. "I'm new to cars, Stanley, not life." He hit the button to lower the top, and the Mercedes' roof retracted into the trunk with a low whine, allowing bright sun and gentle wind to stream into the car. It felt amazing. Stanley dropped the gloves into his lap with a dull sniff, then motioned toward the street. "You'll want to take it onto the freeway, Mr. Pierce. The quality of the ride is truly—" "Is it fast?" Stanley frowned. "Mr. Pierce, this is a Mercedes. The nuance of the driving experience cannot be simplified to a word as limited as fast. To appreciate a car like this, you really—" Wolfgang hit the gas. The nose of the car bucked upward as the engine roared, and the back wheels spun. A moment later, they rocketed out of the parking lot in a wild slide, tires screaming and the engine throbbing. Wolfgang felt equal parts adrenaline and fear rush through his system as the tires grabbed and rocketed them onto the multi-lane street that faced the dealership. Horns blared and cars swerved past. Stanley screamed. Wolfgang clutched the wheel with both hands and broke the turn as the car shifted. Then he felt something in the base of his spine like the explosion of gunpowder detonating behind a cannonball. He was pinned to the seat as the nose lifted again, and everything around him turned into a slow-motion light show of extrapolated colors. Engine noise, tire smoke, and the incessant screaming of the petrified salesman next to him all blended into a glorious crescendo of sensational overload. Wolfgang cut the wheel to the left, sliding through a light as it turned red. A moment later, they were on the freeway, and the speedometer zipped past 100. Wind ripped through his hair, and Wolfgang threw his head back and shouted, cutting in between cars and trucks, as the Mercedes clung to the pavement as though it were on rails. He'd never felt anything quite like it. Power, flash, and thrill. And Stanley screaming. Wolfgang took them 2 miles down the freeway, then abruptly swerved off the highway and slid to a stop at a fuel station. The engine wound down and throbbed with glassy smooth perfection, unstrained by its sudden workout. Stanley sat panting in the passenger seat, and Wolfgang ran a hand through his hair. His fingers still trembled with adrenaline overload, but the sensation felt good. It felt like life.